All right, so to get started, I'm going to be using this yarn. I would rather be using cotton yarn, but in South Africa, cotton yarn is quite pricey. So I'm going to be using this Katopu Flora, and it's quite a thin, it's 100% acrylic, but it's a thin yarn. And, you know, it's a yarn that you cannot break it by just using your hands. You know, you need scissors. So yeah, I'm going to be using this yarn. I'm going to be using the 4mm hook, and you can use a bigger hook if you want the top to be even more loose. And then of course you're going to need scissors, so you need to follow along really well. And we are going to be making this hexagon. Yeah, so you're going to need to make 5 of these. I'm a size medium, and the top I'm going to make is a medium. So I'm going to get started. I've left the camera on autofocus, so if you hear a bit of noise, just know that it's the autofocus. But yeah, okay, let's see. All right, so to start, I'm going to start with that. So that's going to count as 1. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to go back into the first hole, in that first hole. In the first hole, so we are going to do 3 single crochets. That counts as 1, and then this is 2. And now we're going to go back in there and make 3. Sorry, not single, double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to chain 1, and then you go back again. This is how you do the hexagon. 1, 2, 3. And then you chain 1. What you can do if you are not sure of where you'll go next is just to put a stitch marker after each chain. So we're going to do another 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. Now we have 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do another 3 double crochets. 2, 3, chain 1. Now we're going to count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need to make the 5th space. So we chained 1, and now we're going to do 1 more batch. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1. Just make sure that does not come up, and then you're going to count 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to slip stitch. All right, now it looks like this, and we're moving into the second round. You're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go into the same space. So this is that last space. So here you have the first space. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to look for that second space. This is that 3 batches. Now we're going to put in 2 batches of double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1, and then in the same space we go 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to move into the next space. So now chain 1, and then we go into this space. So 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then in the same space another 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we can chain 1, or you can just move into the next space. It doesn't make much difference. So you're going to go chain 1. We're doing the next corner. 2, 3, chain 1, and then in the same space 1, 2, 3, and then into the next space 1, 2, 2, 3, chain 1, and then into the same space 1, 2, 3. Now we need to go into the other space because in here there's only 1. So we need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we need to do a double 3 double crochets in this space, and then I chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch. So this is how it looks. Let's slip stitch there. And now the fun part begins. So you need to pay attention here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I go back into the same space. I'm going to make 3 double crochets. So this counts as the second, and then the third, and then I chain 1, and then before I go in between this space, I go over here and I'm going to do a double crochet, and then chain 1, and then I go at the end of this one. There you go. It's 1 double crochet. Now I chained 1, and then I go into this space, and then we're going to do 2 badges. 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1, and then in the same space we go in again. 1. Sorry, let me just put this down. 2, 3, and then we chain 1, and then we go to the next space. So there's 1, 2, and then in the third, that's where we do the double crochet, and then chain 1, and then in the third here we do a double crochet, and then we chain 1, and then we move into the middle of the space with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, and 3, chain 1, and then we go into this space, the last, chain 1 after the double crochet, and then we go into the first to do a double crochet, and then you chain 1, and then now you're moving in the middle of the other space, the other corner of the hexagon, with 3, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then we go to 3 double crochets, and then chain 1, and again we go into 1, 2, 3 last space with a double crochet, chain 1, and then go into this space, which is the first, with a double crochet, and then chain 1, and now we're almost on our last space. 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then the third with a double crochet, chain 1, and then the first in the other badge, chain 1, and now we need to put in the other badge because this one is by itself. You see that? So we go into that space and put in 3 double crochets. That is one group. Chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch. Now we move on to the next round. This is how it looks, you see. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go into the same space to make one batch, which is 3 double crochets. Chain 1, and then you go into this space, which is the third double crochet on the batch, and we're going to do a double crochet. We chain 1, and then you go and you chain 1 on top of the one that the one double crochet. Chain 1, you do double crochet on top of that one. Sorry, I chained 1. Now I'm going to do a double crochet on this one, on the single double crochet. Chain 1, and now I go into this space, which is the first of the badge, with a double crochet, chain 1, and then I move into this space, and we at the corner now, so we need to do 2 clusters. There's the word clusters. Chain 1, and then go back in there, chain 1. Now we go into the end of this one here with a double crochet, chain 1, and then we go into that single double crochet at the top. We're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, and then we're going to double crochet, chain 1, and then we do the last one. We do the last double crochet. We work on the first cluster. We did a double crochet, chain 1, and now we're going to do the cluster here. 2 clusters of double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and we go in again. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to show you one more time. Chain 1, and then we're going into this last space with a double crochet, 1 double crochet, chain 1, and then on top of the 1 double crochet, we're going to do a single double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet, chain 1, and into that first one before we do the clusters, chain 1, and now we're going to do the clusters. So this is how my work is looking at the moment. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then last double crochet, chain 1, and then on top of that one I chain 1, and then I go onto this one, and then I chain 1, and then I go into the first. So you go on ahead, chain 1, and then you continue to do that until of course, until you reach the end here, and you can see there's only 1 cluster. So once you've done the 1 double crochet in here, chain 1 double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, chain 1 double crochet. Then you're going to do a cluster here, which is 3 double crochets. If you cannot remember, go back to this first line and then join it with a slip stitch. So this is how it looks with 10, so with 9 rows actually. So we're going to count, this is the circle, and then we're going to count 1. You can just count in the holes. That's how I did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 rows that you're going to need to make. Go back if you're still confused about how to do that. So every time you reach a line, you're just going to continue to increase by adding 2, 3, chain 1, and then you go back 1, 2, 3, chain 1. So how it increases is every time you put in the space here. Every time you put in on the last space, that's how it increases. And then of course we go on top of this one. So you keep going that way, chain 1, chain 1, and then on the last we are going to do that, chain 1, and then we go and do the last cluster, and then we go on to the next row. So I did chain 1, I'm going to slip stitch, and then I chain 1, 2, 3, 4 as always, and then I go in with my first cluster, 2, 3, cluster is 3, chain 1, and then in here. You don't immediately go in here, you go in here. So continue and do that until you need all the rows. If you are a larger size, you can add more rows. If you are on the smaller size than a medium, like a extra small to small, you can make 7 rows instead of 9 additional rows. So I hope that helps. So before you go in the comment, make sure that you have watched the whole video, and then you can ask me questions in the comments. But yeah, this is how it looks, and I'm going to show you how we are going to put it together next. Right, so this is my piece done. Remember, you're going to need to make 5 of these. Let me just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, thank goodness. Now you're going to need to make 2 of the front panels. Have this. This is going to be the part of the arm. Your arm is going to come out of here. So I'm going to show you how to make this. I have made it, I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's going to go like this. Really, 12. You can make it slightly shorter if you want the top to be higher. But yeah, I'm going to make 12 on this side. So I'm going to show you how to do the 12. So I have cut off this side. I can continue and do that side, but I'm just gonna do attach this side. So now let's just go on ahead and I'm gonna show you how to do that. So I am going to put in the 3rd space. So I'm just going to tie this. so that we can continue and make the arm. So you are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go in this space, you're going to make a cluster of 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then we chain 1, and then we put in the second cluster, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to chain 1, and then we come this side in the third space. Sorry, in the third space. I don't know why it's doing that. Just all right, in the third space, and then we're going to do a double crochet. So there's a double crochet, we chain 1, turn around, that counts as our first stitch, 2, 3, 4, and then we go back in here to do the 2 clusters, 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1, and then in the same space going to go 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1, and then you go into the top of that 4 chains. So there's the top, and there we go. Now I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn around, and we're going to do a cluster, and then after this you can carry on by yourself, and I've shown you how many I have made. Chain 1, 2, 3, and we are going to go into that space. So even here you can chain 1, or you can just 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, or you can just do the double crochet at the end. But yeah, I would say chain 1 actually, so that there's 4, because double crochet is like 3 chains basically. 2, 3, chain 1, and then we go into the last one of this. All right, so I'm doing this off, and then we're going to put the top together. So this is my crochet. So I'm going to finish this one, and then we can put our top together. All right, so this is our front panels. Now we just need to put together the back. I'm gonna put this to the side. The back is going to sit like this, and this one is going to join there at the top. But you need to make sure that you put them inward, outwards, so that the inside goes inside and the outside stays outside. So I'm going to start with putting together these right here. I like to use a smaller hook, so I'm using a 3.5 to join the panels together. You can use a crochet yarn needle, so if that's what you prefer. So I went in there and I chained 1. So now I'm just going to make sure that I'm holding these nicely against each other, and you go in the front one and the back one and put them together. And now we are here. Make sure that you just don't go in the middle of the hole, but you go in between the two panels nicely. Oh, this is going to get in my way a bit, so I'm gonna leave it. You don't want to go in the hole, you want to go in between the yarn. So we are putting that together like that. Right, so I'm just going to put this one together, and then this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the way, to put these together. So you can divide them if you don't see them well. You can always divide them and see properly how they need to be sitting against each other. That makes it a bit easier actually. So I'm going to continue and put this one together. So this is how it's going to be looking. And then once I've put these together, then I put this sides together. See? All right, so I have done the back. This is how the back looks. You can always iron the top so that it's sitting flat, even flatter than this, but with cotton that shouldn't be a problem. And now we're going to attach the front panel. Now with the front panel, this is how it looks. Again, make sure that the outside is on the outside and the inside is on the inside. So I'm going to do this here and then put the other arm this side, and then we will finish up by making the sides all nice and also attaching the arms up here. So yeah, I'm going to attach here, attach there, and then we will just trim with single crochets on the side to make it look nice. I actually say half double crochet just to make it look nice, but yeah, let me do the front panel. All right, so this is how it looks. I'm going to just turn it inside out so that you can see the back and the front. And now we are going to do half double crochet all the way around. So with the half double crochet, I'm going to use the 4mm, and I want it to be on the outside. So I'm going to start by, there you go, half double crochet. So this makes it so much easier because it's on the outside. So in between the spaces, you just put in one, and then you move and put it in the next space. Let me just move this closer. So this is like in between the space, you do that, and then in the next space a crochet, and then in between half double, half double. So we're just going to go around and do this, so that our work is, it looks finished and tidy and neat. So yeah, you're just gonna go all the way around until you come back here, and then you're going to do that also in between the arms. So in between the arms as well, because this is going to go around and come up here and go up here and go up there. So yeah, you get the idea. So guys, sorry I'm whispering because people are sleeping. I wanted to quickly show you when you come to this part and you need to do the double crochets. In here you need to put in 2 in between the spaces. So have double crochet 2 of them in the space and then 1 on the space. So it's 2 in here and 1 in this space. See, 1 in here, 2 in here, 1 in here, 2 in here when you get to this part. But yeah, this is how the vest looks. I'm almost done. I'm just left with that part. So I'm excited for it. Yeah.